We're now working on the cart. And right now we don't have a cart. We got a product, but not a cart. Let's now add a new model here, the cart.js file, because the cart is like a separate entity in our project, you could say. Therefore, I'll again export a class here, and I'll name that class cart. So that is pretty similar to what I do in product. There I export the class product, but now it's the class cart. And now we have to think about how we want to manage that cart. Now, obviously, we want to have a cart that holds all the products that we added. And we also want to group products by ID and increase their quantity in case we add a product more than once. So to do all of that, I will first of all create a constructor here, which allows us to create a new cart. Now, when this cart is created, I'll add a products property here, which should be an array. And there I imagine having some objects in there which do maybe hold information like the ID and, important, also the quantity of this product. We can also add information like total price, which initially is 0, let's say. And this should of course increase with every product we add. Now what we need on this cart though is a way to add and remove our products, obviously. Now the problem we have is the cart itself is not really an object we'll constantly recreate. Not for every new product that we add, we want to have a new cart. Instead, there always will be a cart in our application, and we just want to manage the products in there. So the approach I want to take will actually be a different one. I don't really add a constructor. Instead, I'll add a static method, add product, like this. Now, this will take the ID of the product I want to add. And the goal here will be to then fetch the old or previous cart from our file for now, analyze that and see if we already have that product, find existing product, and then add new product or increase the quantity. That is what I plan to do. So let's start with adding the logic for fetching a cart from a file. For this, I'll import the file system here and also the path helper here. Path to construct a good path. Now, in product.js, we see how that path should be constructed, so we can copy that basically, go to to cart.js, and then add it here. Now, the difference is that this file will now be named cart.json, and in there we'll store an object that represents our cart. And then here, in this part here for adding a product, I want to use the file system to read a file, and that will be the file at this path, so my cart.json file. And we have a callback where I either get an error or the file content. Now, if we have an error, we know that the file doesn't exist yet, and therefore we got no cart yet. So if we got an error, then our cart will have to be created. Otherwise, we know that we, got an existing cart. So here I'll add a new cart first of all, which will have products that are an empty array and maybe that total quantity we were talking about, at a total price, which is 0. And therefore, if we don't have an error, again, that inverse logic, if we don't have an error, then we know we got an existing cart. So in this case, my cart should be equal to the parsed file content. We'll store it as JSON, so I'll parse it with that JSON helper. So now at this point, after this if statement, we know that we will have a cart. And now we can analyze it and add a product. So let's analyze the cart and see if the product we're trying to add already exists. So we'll search for the existing product by taking our cart products in there. Remember, we'll have products in a cart, which is an array. And by then finding an element in there. So again, we'll loop through all the products and have a look at each of them, each prod. So at each product, we'll have a look and we'll see if the product ID matches the ID of the product we try to add. Now, if we got an existing product already, then we simply want to increase that quantity. So let's say we assume that each product object that gets stored in there is not just a product object having the data in our product model, but also that it has an extra quantity field. Now, if we have an existing product, Then I want to create a new product. And for this, I'll create a new variable, updated product. And here in this if statement, so if we have an existing product, I'll use updated product. And now next generation JavaScript with the object spread operator, I'll take all the properties of the existing product and add them to a new JavaScript object. And then on that updated product, I'll set the quantity equal to the old quantity plus 1. So I'll simply increment the quantity by 1. And since I distributed all properties of existing product into updated product, the quantity will be available there already because it was available in existing product. Now if we have a new product, I'll set updated product equal to, and I should put that into an else block. So if we have a new one, I will set updated product equal to a new JavaScript object where I add information for that product, and that will be my ID, let's say. So ID will be equal to the ID I'm getting as an argument. And I'll set the quantity to 1 because we added just 1. Now the remaining thing is that I want to update the price of the cart. Now we got the cart here with the total price, and the total price will always rise by the price of the product we added. Now I don't have that information in here though, so I expect to get it as an argument, product price. And therefore here after this if else block, I can say cart total price equals cart total price plus product price, right? Because we want to increase that. So now we got our product added. So we found it, and we also analyzed it and added a new product, increased the quantity. Now we just need to save the cart back to our file. And of course, the cart should now also contain the updated product. That's also important. So we updated the price thus far. Let's now also update the products. So the products on our cart should equal the old products. And here again, I'll use a next gen JavaScript feature by spreading the existing products of the cart. So this will now be an array with all the old cart products. And now the question is, what do I want to do? Well, if we are creating a product for the first time, so if I'm in this else block, then I simply will add the updated product as a new additional product. However, if I got an existing product here, I don't want to add a new product. Instead, I want to replace the old one. And to do that, I need to find out where in my old products this existing product was located, so which position it had. To do this, I'll get the index instead of the product. So here I'll have the existing product index, and then I'll add my existing product, which is simply cart products at this existing product index. So one extra step, but this now allows me to use that index to replace the item in our cart products here. So there I will set cart products equal to cart product. So first of all, copying the old array, just as we're doing it down there. But then I'll not add updated products. Instead, I will set cart products and override existing product index. So at this position, I will replace the element with my updated product. So now the updated product is either replaced or added to the cart products, and the price is updated. Now we can save it back. And for this, we can use the file system, write file, and write it to that path. And then, of course, also define what we want to put there. And I want to write my cart into that path. Obviously, in a stringified version, so as JSON. And then here I have a callback where I might get an error, which I want to output so that I see if I do have one and which one it is if I got one. And then I am done. So this is now an add product method that hopefully does the trick. Let's simply try it out. So for this, let's go to the shop controller, and in post cart, I want to add my product. This of course means here, first of all, I need to get the product because I need its price too. So I will use product find by ID for my product ID. And then I have this callback where I get my product. So here, that is the product that is retrieved from the products database, so to say, from the products file. And once I have this, I can use the product information to update my cart. So in here, I now want to use my cart model. First of all, let's import it, cart, by requiring it from the models folder and there from the cart folder. And with it being imported, let's go down to post cart and say cart, add product. And now cart, the model, basically serves as a utility model, you could say. We're not instantiating it. Instead, we're using this static function. And I'll use add product to pass in my prod ID and also my, here, product. That is what I'm retrieving from the product file. My product price. Because that is all the information that I need in there. With that, let's see if that works by going back to our app here and clicking add to cart. Null looks good because we're logging the error here. And if we see null, that means there was no error. And now we got cart JSON. And in there, I got products, which is an array of products with an ID and the quantity. And the price is stored as a string, which is a bit suboptimal here, I have to say. So we'll have to work on that. But besides that, this is looking good. Now, if I add another product or the same product again, then we see indeed the quantity was increased. The price is misbehaving because it's stored as a string and therefore concatenated. So we'll have to do something about that. In cart.js, the price we're extracting, it's stored as a string in our product model. So what we have to do is, here when we work on the price, I have to add a plus in front of product price to convert that string to a number. And now if we quickly delete cart JSON to start from scratch, and I add my element to the cart again, and I do that again, and we now look into cart JSON, now this is looking better. So this is now working. This is our cart model added. But with that, let's go back to our routing topic, which we had in this module, and let's see what query parameters are and how they can help us with editing a product.